Today we're going to be taking a look at a space gun, and I know what you might be thinking, Lane, what are you talking about? But trust me, this gun is not your typical run-of-the-mill M4. In today's first impressions and unboxing video, we're going to be taking a look at the Lancer Tactical Enforcer. What's up, Airsofters? My name is Lane, and welcome back to the BB Warrior. We're here to help you have a better time both on and off the airsoft field through our educational content, and if you enjoy videos like these, well, I'd love it if you joined our community by hitting that subscribe button down below, and while you're at it, make sure to hit that bell icon next to it for updates. We post brand new videos every single Friday here on the channel. Now, I do just want to get this out of the way, be completely transparent. Lancer Tactical was kind enough to send me this product for today's video, so if you want to pick it up, there will be links down in the description below to where you can do that. But let's take a look at this bad boy right here. Now, this is, like I said, not your typical run-of-the-mill M4, and I think when you see this thing, you're going to get exactly what I mean. So it's got some unique characteristics on it, mainly the stock. So this is the full gun here, and I know what you might be saying. You're probably thinking, Lane, what is up with that stock? Because this is interesting. However, it does have some utility purposes to it as well. Let's see what else we're going to get in the box with this gun real quick, though. You're also going to get 2 mid-cap magazines, which I'll take out for a second. And then, you know, your pretty typical run-of-the-mill stuff. You know, your de-jamming rod, a little booklet, things like that. This does not come with a battery and charger because this is a little bit higher up in Lancer Tactical's array of products that they offer. But let's take a look at this gun and see what makes that stock so special. So while this is an M4 style rifle, as you saw earlier, it's not exactly like every other one. So I've got the magazine in there. And you might be saying, Lane, you know, what's up with that stock? The stock actually holds other magazines. So now you get what I mean when I say that this is kind of a space gun, because it is unique to say the least. And it doesn't just take these little mags like the one that was included. You can fit the other mags in there. You can fit you know, other brands as well, which I was personally doing. I was using this with PTS EPMs. So the Enforcer is definitely an interesting looking gun. And you might be saying, Lane, what is the purpose of the magazine in the stock? Because that's whack. And like, that's what I thought at first. I thought that this was, I admittedly thought this was like kind of a gimmick, like it'd be kind of weird. And while it does look interesting, it's actually kind of useful. I think that this would be perfect for players that are just getting into Airsoft, who don't have the money to go out there and buy gear and they want to get a good gun. If you have 2 high caps, that's 600 rounds on the gun. That'll get you through most open plays that you go to. This is definitely a unique looking gun, don't get me wrong, and I'm torn on whether or not I like that, because the stock is pretty easy to use. We'll go over that in just a minute, but like this is such an interesting looking gun, and it's definitely different from everything else that you see out there. I'm like a little torn on whether I like the aesthetics of it or not, but I am the one that kind of likes weird guns out there. But yeah, this is your Lancer Tactical Enforcer. Now let's take a look at some of the externals that we're going to see on this gun, because if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that I did a review of Lancer Tactical's Interceptor last year, and I did have some critiques of that gun, which have been updated, which have been changed in this gun, and I truthfully think that Lancer Tactical is one of those companies that really doesn't like to sit there and just stay with the product that they have. They are always improving their products, in my opinion, and I know that a lot of people out there really like the rip on Lancer Tactical, but the quality of Lancer Tactical from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that is not what you're going to find today. So taking a look at this gun in particular, we're going to start at the front and work our way back. You do have your metal outer barrel. You're going to have, you know, your orange tip if you live here in the United States, a metal M-lock rail. This was something that I was not expecting, honestly, and it feels really nice. I do have an M-lock segment down there for camera. You know, you can put grips on this, anything like that, but it's such a short gun. I don't really think that you need a grip. You can just grab the mag well, you can just do thumb over bore, whatever it may be. You do have a monolithic rail on here, so if you do have any longer optics, I typically like to have my optics right about here on a gun anyway, so I personally like that. You do have Lancer Tactical's plastic flip-up sights. They're like most Airsoft flip-up sights, in all honesty. They're not anything to write home about, but they're also not horrible at the same time. Pretty standard AR controls. They are non-ambidextrous on this model. So you do have, you know, your safe, semi, and full auto. And then you do have a flat trigger built into this, which is something that I really like, and I'm glad that they do on their Airsoft guns, because this has their electronic trigger unit in it. And even with just a 7.4, which is what I used and what will be in the gameplay for this video, it really shoots great. It's got good trigger response, better than I was expecting, in all honesty. Like, this gun was a expectation shatterer, and it was a really bad day out when we were playing. I'm sure that you can see a little bit of the mud on the gun as we go through this video, but with that ETU, this gun shoots fantastic. You're not going to have to worry about any delay when you're pulling the trigger. It just sends those BBs right out there. And then we get to the stock. So again, because this is such a unique stock, because it does have purpose, you do have like a thumb paddle style of release right here to pull out the magazine. What I like that they did about it is that it doesn't drop with gravity. So you're not going to have to worry if you do hit the button, you're not going to have to worry about your magazines going out. Now you might be saying, well, Lane, you know, how's that going to hold up over time when I'm playing a game, for example? Well, throughout the time that I was using this, I lost one mag with this stock. It just fell to the ground, it hit my feet, so I heard it. It was not a Lancer Tactical mag though. So I was using one of my PTS EPMs, which are inherently, they're thinner by design. So that could be what it is. They had a little bit of play in there, but even with magazines like that are thinner, you don't get a lot of rattle with this. It's not going to be making noise, giving your position away. And what I do like about the stock, because it is so big, you got that battery space. So there's a little lever down here that you can see, and this will allow you to adjust it for if you need it to be longer. This gun goes from 25 to 28 inches or so. And then you can just take off this top cover to reveal your battery compartment. Now, if you watch my Lancer Tactical video from last year, you'll notice that one of my biggest critiques of the gun was a plastic buffer tube, because this is kind of a weak spot on AEGs, and I said that that's something that they should improve. They have. And truthfully, with this whole stock design, they have reinforced this area of the gun, which is a stress point on most guns. They have reinforced it more than good enough. So I really like that. The way that the stock is designed, I would still recommend using like a 7.4 or an 11.1 buffer LiPo. Lancer Tactical does recommend that these can use 11.1s. I was using a 7.4 and I had great trigger response, so I can't even imagine what this would be like on an 11.1. Now, the thing that I like about Lancer Tactical and what they do specifically that I think that more companies need to pick up on, they offer their guns in a lot of different varieties. They just don't have one or two different models. You can really get whatever you would like. So these come in high FPS versions, low FPS versions. You can get different rails. If you don't like the stock, that's an option. If you want to go with something a little bit more traditional to the M4, that's what I really like about Lancer Tactical, is that they have such a wide variety in their guns. So the big question about this, it could be cool. It could have the nice externals. It could have the interesting, we'll use that word, stock. How does the gun shoot? That's what really matters. Again, Lancer Tactical is getting better every single year. With that ETU, even with a 7.4 LiPo, trigger response was fantastic. On a cold day where typically buckings like to fail, I was hitting people 200 feet away. This gun is really good for its price point. This particular one is a little over $200. Again, if you'd like to pick it up, there'll be a link in the description below. I like this gun so much more than I was expecting to, in all honesty, guys. You know, I for most reviews that I do, I take it with a grain of salt. I'm like, yeah, this could be all right. This gun shattered my expectations. And again, this just kind of reinforces my thought that Lancer Tactical gets better every single year. That's why I'm always a believer that any company can change, any company can improve their products, and Lancer Tactical just proves that. Exactly. They continue to get better every single year, and I'm excited to see what they come out with next year. You've got the nice rotary hop-up inside of this, which is, you know, just really helpful to make sure that you can really fine-tune your shots. It's better than the old dial systems that more companies are starting to abandon. Lancer Tactical was really one of the first people to put that in more affordable guns, though. The one complaint that I do have with this gun is going to be their low voltage detector. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what this is, it's a precaution that some manufacturers put into their guns to ensure that you don't kill your LiPo, because if you run a LiPo down to 0% battery, you're going to kill the battery. So this is a way that the gun automatically shuts itself off before you reach that point, so that you don't destroy your LiPo, so that you're not wasting money, that sort of thing. It goes off a little early in this gun. So the day that I was playing with this was admittedly a really cold day, which wasn't good for batteries either. However, admittedly, at one point, I thought that I killed this gun. It was working fantastically. You know, I was getting kills throughout the game, and then the gun just like stopped. And I didn't know about this low voltage detector at the time, I'll fully admit. I was being a little ignorant about it. And I'm like, oh, I killed a review gun. Oh, like that's great. So this does have that low voltage detector in there. I think it goes off a little early. because I was able to get a little bit more rounds out of that in a different gun. It is a safety precaution though, so it's going to make sure that you're not blowing up your LIFO, saving money. It's a good thing to have. I just wish that they would add in something like a beep when your battery's getting low. Like I've seen some things out there that do that. I think that'd be a nice improvement, but you know, they're trying to keep the cost lower on these guns, and I completely understand it. That would just be my personal recommendation. That was really the only thing that I did not like about this gun though. I had a great day using it up until that point where I thought that I killed a gun and I was like, oh god. But yeah, I really like this Lancer Tactical Enforcer. I'm going to be excited to take a look at some of the other models of airsoft guns that they have in the future, but I would highly recommend this gun, especially from its price point. This is really something that you can't beat, and Lancer Tactical is really starting to dominate that $150 to under $300 range in my opinion. But that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you all so much for taking a look at today's review of the Lancer Tactical Space Gun. Just kidding, it's the Enforcer. But I like the looks on this. Like I'm kind of torn, but like I'm more on the side that I like it. But what do you think of neat things like this in airsoft? Or are you more of a traditionalist? You want your standard stock and buffer too? Make sure to let me know down in those comments below. But that's going to do it for today's video. If this was your first time here, you know, I would love it if you joined our community by hitting the subscribe button down below. While you're at it, hit the bell icon next to it though, so you're going to get updates when we post brand new videos every single Friday here on the channel, just like this one. Again, a huge thanks to Lancer Tactical and Airsoft Megastore for sending this out for review. If you'd like to pick it up, all that information is in the description below. But my name is Lane, talking about the Lancer Tactical Enforcer, and I will see you all next time.